so for this episode of the Red and Blue Rivalry Podcast, we are discussing the San Francisco 49ers and the Dallas Cowboys running back position. So we'll kick it off with the Niners, man, because I got a question for you. Who in the hell is the starting running back for the San Francisco 49ers in 2019?
Man, the starting running back, I have to say, it's got to be Tevin Coleman. But he's going to get a battle from Matt Breida. It's so different than a year ago. A year ago, it was Jerick McKinnon. He was the big free agent get. He was going to be the Tevin Coleman of this offense, the guy who could run the ball, who could catch, who could almost be like a do-it-all back. Blows out his knee. Last, I think, practice of training camp. And now, with him not 100% and still recovering, that leaves the door open for Tevin Coleman to come in and take that spot. But during the season, I mean, you turn around and you see a guy like Matt Breida who just went from being an undrafted free agent to the starting back and did well. I mean, we're talking about 814 yards, 5.3 yards per carry. He was receiving too. He finished with 27 of 31 receptions.
Yeah.
So it was about 87% receptions as a running back, and his total yards from scrimmage were over 1,000. So when Jimmy goes down, you have just, Kittle and the running game. He still, was able to find holes. He had big runs against the Lions. He showed himself.
No, he did. He was one of the league leaders in rushing in the early part of the season or mid-season.
Yeah. They got teams adjusted, and then he kind of wore out. The Achilles heel of all the backs that Shanahan covets they're never bell cows.
That might be a good thing in this backfield because you got plenty of them.
Exactly. So when I look at what him and Tevin Coleman, because I truly believe that when the season starts, when they have to go to Tampa for week 1 of the regular season, the starter will be Tevin Coleman, but you'll see a lot of Matt Breida. There'll be no 1,000-yard back in San Francisco. I don't. I think the numbers, like you look at his year, Breida's year last year was about 800 yards. You look at what Tevin Coleman did 1 year under Shanahan, he finished with about 800 yards. 14-yard difference, right?
Yeah.
He was 32 of 44 receptions for 276 yards and had about 1,000 all-purpose yards. That's what I predict. I think they'll both have about 800 to 900 yards rushing and about 1,000 yards all-purpose.
Yeah, and I agree. I think that the 49ers have gotten slept on as far as being a good running team. They were a very good running team last season. I mean, right just below the Cowboys, who are renowned for being a running team.
Yes.
The only thing with the 49ers when I look at the running back position is I see they're all multifaceted. I think Breida started to come on as a receiver late, but I see like a jack of all trades, but masters of none. Like, what do any of those running backs on the roster do, like, particularly well? It's like I think they all just do everything well enough.
This is going to be an outlandish statement because I'm about to compare an undrafted free agent to a Hall of Famer. Okay, but this Hall of Famer.
I just took a drink of my beer, by the way.
Yes.
Okay, I'm ready.
But this Hall of Famer. And it's not who you think, but this Hall of Famer was a 6th-round pick.
OJ?
No. By the way, have you seen him on Twitter?
Yeah, I did. And side note, should I feel guilty for wanting to follow him? I haven't yet, but I put some serious thought into it.
Yeah, I sat down and did like a thing of yes and no, the good and bad.
Did it?
Yes.
Oh, man. So I
because,
follow him.
I mean, it's
He's
like.
the juice.
He's the juice.
Yeah.
It's loose.
Yeah, I'm with you.
I'd feel really sad if he blocked me.
Right. You would.
You would, right?
I would.
Yeah. Anyways.
Anyway.
Yeah. Back to this. What makes these guys great and why I compare them to a Hall of Famer I want to get to is they have the ability to run in the offense that Shanahan wants. The wide zone. The outside zone. And the guy who built a career off of that, short-lived, 6th-round draft pick, didn't think anything, was the running back his dad played for. And Terrell Davis.
Yeah.
Yeah. You think of the same thing. When I look at Matt Breida, short, stocky, can just find a hole, and you just see him run with power. Once he hits that hole, he runs with power.
I like
and speed.
Breida a lot.
And you look at Terrell Davis's career. No one would have thought when he was drafted or his first year, this guy's going to turn around and be a Hall of Famer.
Right.
And I think that I'm not saying Breida has that. He's going to have that career or he's going to be a Hall of Famer. But I think I see that skill set and that ability. So I think when you ask me what are they mastered of, it's the offense that Shanahan has for them. The ability to catch and the ability to run outside zone. Now, are you going to ask them to take the ball 20, 25 times up the middle between two guards? No, they're going to break down. They've proven that. But I like the depth. I think in training camp, what I just want to see is stay healthy. Just stay healthy. Get McKinnon healthy because I think McKinnon can still contribute. Get healthy. Get the offense down. I know Coleman will have it. Breida's going to have another year.
Coleman, too.
Yeah. I think they have a good back, and they can play action. They can catch. They can shift. They can put linebackers on them.
I'm with you.
Yeah. So I think that they're going to grow.
I do, too. I think, look, when you look at Breida, you look at McKinnon, you look at Coleman, those are three running backs that I really like, and I believe in all three. I really do. Like, I like Coleman, when he was in Atlanta.
Yeah.
But if I got to be real, I'd trade all three for Ezekiel Elliott because I think he's just...
Well, he is the workhorse.
He is the workhorse. He is the Dallas Cowboys offense. Yes. It lives and it dies with Ezekiel Elliott. And this dude is a machine, man. 6 foot, 225 pounds of just mean muscle machine. That's how I look at Zeke. Led the league in rushing in 2016 and 2018. He would have led the league in 2017 if it wasn't for the 6-game suspension. He was leading the league. But in 2018, the thing that a lot of people aren't talking about is he had 77 receptions for 567 yards last season. So undoubtedly, he can do it all. He can catch passes. He can block. I've seen him lay rushers on their ass, blocking in the backfield. I mean, he's trucking linebackers. I think, in my opinion, man, I think he's undoubtedly the best running back in the league. That's just me, especially with the questions going on with Todd Gurley and his knee right now.
Yeah, you had Lev Bell who had that crown for a few years, who's kind of
he's getting robbed, and
nah. Kenny Powers situation,
right? He's Kenny Powers right now.
He really is.
Yeah.
So
say what you want about a music festival and shoving a security guard.
Yeah.
He didn't get robbed by naked women in his house.
That was outlandish. That was massively outlandish. But here's the question. It's interesting. It almost seems like with Dallas is the same questions that apply to the quarterback apply to the running back, especially during training camp in the offseason. 1, during the preseason. Do you really want Zeke out there? And 2,
no.
What's behind him?
Nothing. Nothing. My hope, and again, this is what's going to make the preseason interesting to watch. Tony Pollard. Cowboys drafted 2 running backs in the 2019 NFL Draft. The one that I'm very interested in watching is the 4th-round selection, Tony Pollard. He's out of Memphis. And you know what? What I've seen and what I've heard watching highlights on DallasCowboys.com, he's flashed. He flashed in minicamp. Now, I know. They're not really trying to tackle. They're not playing full speed. But from everything I hear, from the college tape that I've seen, he's versatile. He's speedy. He can play special teams. So hopefully he can grow into a legitimate backup in the NFL. I'm not too sure that 7th-round pick Mike Weber, who replaced Zeke as the starting running back at Ohio State, he eventually ended up falling behind, was it Dobbins? Ohio State running back? Yeah, because he wasn't starting at the end, I don't think. But he's more of like that every down back type of running back. Pollard seems more like the 3rd down back. But I think he's definitely no lock to make the 53 at this point. So, yeah, I'm worried about depth, but I have a little bit of hope that Pollard can step in and grow into it.
Now, my question, too, for them is, and maybe it's just outside perception, especially with Zeke, something about it. Like, Zeke always looks like he's maybe a little bit out of shape when he enters camp. I don't know if that's true or not. He looks like he enjoys his offseason a bit much.
Yeah.
Is there any worry about can he handle that workload? I mean, they really ride him. When I looked at his carries versus it takes almost 2.5 Niners running backs to equal what they give him, So can they really do that for a 4th straight year? I
don't think they're going to use him quite as much as they used him in 2018. Honestly, Cowboys fans are pretty tough on the former offensive coordinator, Scott Linehan.
Yeah.
No, he's not the most creative of guys. I can pretty much call the plays while they're lining up, so I'm sure the defensive coordinators can as well. But at the same time, Kellen Moore's in there now. And I feel like, he's going to put a few wrinkles in the offense where we're not going to have to rely on Zeke quite as much as we did in 2018. But you know what? If worse comes to worse and we have to, there's no other back in the NFL that I'd rather rely on than Ezekiel Elliott.